I've had a number of years with her, and I suppose she's more of a character in my history and my memories than Teddy. Teddy's just cute. Now, I wonder, who can remember 3 years ago, December? See, I'm still trying to be a poet. But I didn't intend to be. Hello, Floppy. Yeah, your ears are not looking good. It's almost like she's getting carcinomas or something. 3 years ago this time of the year, there was a hyena den active up on, or the den up on Cheetah Cut Line, Gary Main Junction was active. There were 2 youngsters. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Floppy ear. And I'm open to correction. I'm open to it possibly being someone else. So if anybody remembers the hyena den up there, Lynn, I know, might have kept track of that. I know Sharon in Austria would have, but Sharon unfortunately not with us. Anyway, just to conclude about the snail. So, yes, some people have eaten them in the past. In some places, well, in particular in southeastern Tanzania, oh, there go a pair of Wahlbergs. No, it's the African hawk eagles hunting. And they're chasing a bird, they're chasing a dove. Oh, it's just below the tree line. Wow. They came in from the left and they did this sort of 180 in the air, both of them chasing a dove. That must be quite frightening for a dove. Have 2 powerful eagles like that on your tail. Anyways, that way. Christine wants to know what happened to the hyena's ear. I haven't the faintest idea, Christine. Could have been mangled in a fight. She could have been born like that. She was like that when I first saw her 3 years ago. She's an old girl, she's not a youngster. But I'm assuming you mean the right ear that's floppy, that's bent over. And her left ear has been chewed on, by the looks of things. But I'm also thinking there might be sun damage. You know, they're seeing cheetah, I think, in places that are starting to get sun damage. And I know that domestic animals that spend a lot of time outside nowadays, because of increased risks of skin cancer, I noticed that domestic animals, especially pale white animals, are at risk. I've known a couple of white cats that have developed skin cancer on their ears. I don't know, that left ear of hers is looking, every time I want to look at it, she puts her head down. It's looking a bit otherwise. Anyways, in southeastern Tanzania, where I lived for a while, a big game reserve, we used to find middens of snail shells that could have only been accumulated by humans, because it wouldn't have been a natural, and they were invariably always in a termite mound, in a hole in a termite mound. Those were middens, human middens. It's like you get early civilization that had middens of periwinkles and other marine gastropods, mollusks. And I do know that some cultures crush that shell up and use it as a calcium supplement. And then, I can't remember who it was, but somebody asked the lifespan of those snails. Well, I've calculated some of them to be 20, some of the really big ones that I've found, up to 20 years, based on the growth rings. I'd say they probably average maybe 10 to 15 years, but I think a lot of it depends on the amount of rainfall and the amount of moisture, humidity in the air, because those snails can only come out of the ground during weather like this. And sometimes in a dry year, and they end up only spending a few days a year of the entire year above ground feeding. They don't feed when they burrow down. They burrow down into the ground at the base of trees and into termite mounds to wait out the dry periods. And you can actually, if you take a living snail, you can go back in time through the rings, the growth rings on the snail, to see the years that were good and wet because of the size of the growth period in the shell. I wouldn't say this is active. But she is here with her the two middle-sized youngsters are missing. The other hawk eagle's behind you now, coming into this tree. Hello.